As we celebrate Black history, so often we look back at history, whether it's the 1960s or the Jim Crow South, and one of the things that we can conclude by looking at history is that the struggle has been, and in some areas, continues to be real. One of those areas that has been stubborn is access to capital, starting your own business, figuring out the path forward from a financial literacy standpoint. And this past Sunday, I had a chance to speak at a church, and one of the things I thought about as I was preparing for that message on Black history was the concept of Deuteronomy 8:18 that says that God has given us the power to create wealth. Why? To establish his covenant. Now, I don't assume everybody in the room believes as I believe, but I do believe that there is something significant about being given the power to create wealth. And the fact of the matter is that anytime you have significant power to do anything, there will be headwinds. There will be challenges. There will be confusion. There will be all kinds of things that get in the way. And part of the message that I delivered on Sunday is that history tells us so often the pain, the starvation, the discrimination. God bless you. Twice. That was a pretty good one right there. But when you think about his story in the midst of our history, the one thing we can conclude is that when he, the Lord Almighty, intersects with Black history, the one thing we should conclude is, much like our brothers in the Bible of Israel, 400 years of slavery, Moses comes and says, "Let my people go." Well, with the ocean in front of you and an army behind you, history tells us that you perish. But when his story intersects with history, he parts the Red Sea. Y'all are familiar with the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and that bad Abednego. Y'all will get that later. But Abednego, there's a way to go into a fiery furnace and not come out smelling like smoke. And in the area of financial literacy and creating and developing a profit through your business, one of the things that we have to do is have this conviction that all things are still very much possible. And they're more possible today than they've ever been. And the more we lean into it, and the more we form the relationships, and the more we use our history as a place to stand higher to see farther down the road, the more likely we are to pave a path for others to follow. It is a privilege to serve as a ranking member on the Banking and Housing Committee, but it is a privilege given to me by the good Lord and the people of South Carolina. And I thank you all for participating today in the panel discussion and in the reception.